Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Goopy Gossip. So, I left up a vote on the Discord server, which I hope people that watch this will come and join so they can vote for the next episodes that I will be doing. But this episode is going to be going over character building. Now, that term, I feel, is two sides to one coin. For there's character building, and then there's character building. So, we'll be going over the first one, for this might be a two-part episode. So, firstly, we'll go over character building. Character building is when you come up with the concept of an idea of what you want a character to be or who you want your character to be. Um, a lot of the OCs of the Diamond subscribers, this is very important, and I haven't seen anybody really fumble with this. Everybody's been very good about coming up with a character concept that's been unique and very interesting, and typically draws in a lot more people than what we think. So, with character building, you want to be able to come up with a concept that you are very okay with, that you're very comfortable with. Um, the basis of making a character, right? And it kind of goes hand in hand, kind of like when you're playing any sort of game, whether it be from the most basic of Dungeons and Dragons to the most complex of most anime RPGs. Um, it always comes down to what do I want my character to be like? And any of you that do become Diamond subscribers, God willing you do, and join us on this wonderful journey, this is something you really got to sit down and talk to yourself about. What do I want a character to be in this world? Well, there is a Diamond repository that goes over all of the characters that have been made so far for Dark's World. Um, Me myself, when I first made Zaz, I sat down and I didn't exactly like it's nothing against Dark. I liked the races of his world. Um, there was a few that reached out and honestly grabbed me as a character idea. I love the idea of the Frost Elves, the Ice Elves. Um, Always been a big fan of cold characters. Um, as well as Madrift was another race that kind of grabbed at me because they were very unique looking. Um, and I kind of like how they were built. But I wanted to go for something that was outside the box, and that's kind of where I got Zaz. So I asked Dark if there was demons in his game, in his world, in his story, and he told me yes, they are called Deja. Which, by the way, absolutely love the name for the demons in his realm. So I asked him if anybody was playing a Deja. If has anybody created one? He said no, because Deja are kind of chaotic for one. I mean, they are demons, and two, they're awfully powerful. Even small fry of the Deja worlds, the Deja layers, are rather powerful. So I asked him if I could play a Deja, but not have the power that comes with it. And we kind of worked out a situation where Zaz got nerfed. In order to walk amongst these mortals, in order to blend in with them, obviously I can't go around toting around my power. So Zaz's power kind of got locked away. And I liked that as a concept for the character because that also made me have to work to make him keep up with other party members. I mean, when I first started seeing some of the other Diamond OCs, I was overwhelmed. I just kind of sat there like, man, even with my powers nerfed, it's like, I just, how do I keep up with that kind of ability? Like their levels, it gets overwhelming. So believe me, if you ever start off as a Diamond OC, a Diamond subscriber, and you create a character for the first time, don't get overwhelmed with the whole, there's a bigger fish. Yeah, there's always a bigger fish, but you can also catch up to them in time. It's not like there is a Dark Hat does have a cap out. Um, but I like the character building for Zaz because I wanted him to come in as a small fry. I don't know. I guess it's the Dark Souls player in me that was like, I want more difficulty with my with my aesthetic. So I put Zaz into this world, came up with the concept of I wanted to play a Deja, but I kind of wanted to play it off kilter. So Deja are typically chaotic, and honestly, I'd like Dark to go over a bit more on the Eternals of his world. I understand that they're not supposed to be big players, but or at least I don't think they're supposed to be big players. But with his stories focusing on the mortal aspects, I get why he hasn't yet. Not to mention that certain characters haven't really come forward to where he needs to talk about them, but I digress. Um, anyway, I wanted to play a Deja that comes to the mortal world, and he is ordered by his boss to blend in. Well, in order to blend in with people, you got to start being a good guy. So I'm not allowed to be chaotic, bloodthirsty, soul hungry. I have to blend in with mortals. I have to play the good character, even though I have a corrupt soul, even though I came into this world with darkness. And I enjoyed that character building because that's the route I wanted to go. And as such, Zaz has started believing his own orders so much that he is actually taking it to heart, taking it to his soul that he needs to be a good person. So with the character building, I came up with this concept and I ran with it, and it's gained a lot of traction. And I'm not the only one that's come up with these kind of concepts. I mean, there's Czar with Nil. Um, there's Moch with Amira. I mean, if you sit down and you look at some of these character concepts, some of them can start off real basic, or some of them can start off rather outlandish. And if I'm to be honest, but how they build the character is so involved in the world, and how Dark helps with the character building is exactly how his world building gets better and better as you move along with the story. And I dread the day that the community wants to see more of the OCs rather than they do of Dark's own characters. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Dark's characters. Like, I'm a huge fan of Selma. I love the character that is Veronica. I would love to see how her story develops and everything like that, and how she, as a character, has to develop as well. Um, and that's where we're going to get in to part two.